Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm glad it's the weekend. Okay. I officially got a 19-year-old. My son turned 19 today. But listen, y'all. Happy Friday. Glad you're in the building. Glad you're spending some time with the diva. Okay. You're spending time with me on this Friday night, and I appreciate y'all. So it's trending topics. Okay. Friday night trending topics. And the title is This is Weird. This is weird. Now, listen, guys, you know over here, I say your vote is your vote. It's not my vote, and I'm not about to tell you who to vote for. It's up to these candidates to convince you that what they have in store for us is worth your vote. And you need to sit down and decide for yourself. Thank you, guys. Saying happy birthday to the kid. You need to sit down for yourself, look at their policies, what they are trying to say they're going to do. And then when it comes time to vote, you go in the booth or whatever, unless you mail yours in, and you go, you boop, boop, boop. You pick the candidate you want. I'm not about to sit here, call you stupid, dumb, a highbrow Negro, if you don't vote for who I want you to vote for. But if I do want to convince you to vote for the person that I like, I will use my brain and tell you, listen, this is what this candidate stands for. This is what that candidate stands for. So if you want this to happen, then you need to vote for this particular candidate. Now, I told y'all over here all the time, I did not go to Harvard. I didn't go to Yale, didn't go to any Ivy League school, but I went to school. But outside of my schooling, I do my own study. I read all the time. I love to read. And I educate myself on some things. Yes, I do. So when you have a platform, you know, there's a saying out there that goes, too much is given, much is required. If I'm a teacher, I shouldn't be calling kids stupid. If I'm the pastor, I shouldn't be at my local supermarket cursing people out, sleeping with all kind of people. I'm not sweating. I got oil on my skin because I took a shower before I came on live. I took a shower and I have a whole routine, so my skin is just oily. And I was trying to wipe it off before I got up here, TM Christian. But no, I'm good. I'm not sweating. It's the oil. So you know, you gotta. I'm not going to tell nobody what to do, but I will give you some education based upon what I know. And again, that doesn't mean that I know everything either. I'm not one of those that act like I know everything, because I don't. And a lot of times y'all add some information to my stories, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that. Okay. And just like I was like, I don't know if I want to do this Project 25, because sometimes me and y'all, we be duking it out. And I gotta wait till later till y'all hear somebody else say what I already told y'all, and then we come to the common ground. I'm okay with that. So, you know, this Joy Reid, she has a platform. She has a major platform. And for her to come out and say that if we don't vote for Kamala Harris, then we're weird. She's going to be giving us the side eye. In your platform, instead of you saying something like that, why don't you talk about how the people are coming out strong, black, white, yellow, and orange, and backing her? And why don't you also talk about why these people are backing her? And then you tell that thing off at the end and say, you know, these are the reasons why you should back her. I will never understand these people that are in these high positions and they talk like they never stepped foot in nobody's school or read a book. You got to be more responsible when you're on a platform as such. You got to be more responsible. And then you got to do like they did with the Obama race. Say, clean your cousins up. Anybody that's of age and can vote, you need to say, hey, Juice Radio. You need to say, clean your cousins up, your brothers, your uncles, everybody in your family that you know, dust them off and get them to that booth so they can vote also. Instead of saying this low-level stupidity of you are weird if you don't vote for her. Tell us why we need to vote. Educate the people. Explain. Level up. It's just stupid to me. I don't know what's on my face over here. And it was stupid to me that people was, Biden could be a corpse and I'll vote for him. But come on, people. This is not a joke. Y'all joke about things that are serious, and then you wonder why people don't take it seriously. Level up. Get some education. Don't play with this thing. Let me tell you something. When I worked in the hospital, I didn't play games. This is somebody's life. You're diabetic. I was straightforward with you. You need to start eating right. You need to do some form of exercise, even if every day you just go out and walk 30 minutes. You don't want to be alive, but you can't live. You want to be alive and you laying in the bed, you can't walk, you can't talk, you can't do nothing for yourself. You just existing. Eat fried chicken. Don't eat fried chicken every day. Drink your you like it, whatever you drink it. Just don't drink it all day, every day. Get some water in your body too. Stop leaving us down here like we can't comprehend. Teach us. Teach us. You have a major platform. Teach us. Telling people policies, procedures, what we're fighting for. Some people, even with their health insurance, still can't afford to go to the doctor. Now, make that make sense. And then when they can't get to the doctor, they get to the pharmacy. And when the pharmacist tell them how much the med is, they got to decide, do I want med number 1, 2, or 3? Because they can't get all 3. We got more education to do, but we can't get the education because the people that are in the seat that can educate us, they still with the foolery. It's the foolery. I'm going to look at you weird if you don't vote for her. No, you got a platform, girl. Hit us with all the reasons why we need to vote for her, why we need to get up out our seat and vote. And even if we only got $10 to donate towards that campaign, we'll take the $10. Do you know it's a whole group of people that don't look like me, a whole group of females, they raised $8 million for her. They raised $8 million. But when that girl talked, she gave all the reason why she gathered all her sister friends to raise this money, but she didn't talk about, I'm going to look at you weird if you don't vote for her. No, that girl sat there and said, for years we messed up. We was voting this way and we needed to vote that way, but now that we have a chance, we're going to vote this way and we're backing her with some dollars. The girl don't look like me. She said her group, they raised $8 million. She wasn't on the TV with the foolery. It's all females, all white females. And she told exactly why. She made a whole list as to why she is backing Kamala, I'm sorry, y'all. Come on. You see what I'm talking about? But if you see this group, that woman wasn't talking no foolery. She gave straight policies as to why they raised that money and they are backing her. Now I'm going to give you the side eye if you don't vote for her. Give us some more to chew on, girl. You on our screens. We're counting on you. Stop doing this sister girl foolery like we back in the high school yard. I'm gonna give you the side eye if you don't vote for her. She a sister. No, tell us what she about. And then tell us to take that information and go tell the rest of our friends so they can get up off their butt and make the right decision too. Not just because she's Black, but because of her policies and what she's standing for. It's the foolery I can't do with. That's why I told you I do politics, but I can't do the foolery. I can't say where we stuck with, oh, I don't care. I'm just going. No. When we start educating people, we can make some change. That's why I said, this is weird. She said, I'm going to look at you weird and give you the side eye if you don't vote for her. How about you give us some education? You on, and what is that station she on? Let me get it right now. MSNBC. Got a major platform. And you talking foolery. But we're going to talk about it. And then you know what? Because I wanted to make sure this whole thing wasn't heavy. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. You know, we got Kroy Biermann. You know, that couple, I've never seen anything like it with my own eyes. But, you know, when I was growing up, they called this thing old money, new money. Old money was pretty much, if I summarize it, it was generational wealth. Not wealth because you hit the lotto. Not wealth because you was the first person in your family that started a business. Not wealth because you happened to be on a reality show or something like that and you came up with some cash. No, generational wealth. You got a few bloodline in your bloodline, they just got money. They got money. And so Croy and Kim Zolciak, they live in a development where a lot of those individuals in that particular development, they got old money. And see, the thing is, people who have old money and people who newly came into money, they will let you mingle with them. They will, because you got the money right now. But the second, not the minute, the second you don't have that type of money anymore, they want nothing to do with you. They want you to be out. They want nothing to do with you. So, you know, now that they want it down and out, if Kroy and Kim walk wrong in that neighborhood, the neighbors are on the horn calling the cops. They want them out. So I don't know who let their dogs out. He blamed it on his son. But somebody let the dogs out. And when the dogs got out in the neighborhood, the neighbor, she was dramatic. She said she had to run across the street. The dog was still coming. And she claimed she jumped in the car of a perfect stranger to save herself from that dog perhaps doing something to her. And she told the cops, I thought I was going to have to mace the dog. That dog running loose. That dog is looking for food, in my opinion. Dog trying to find out where there's some food at because ain't no food up in that Biermann and Zolciak house. Looking for food. So the dog got out. The cops came, and the cops know Kroy by name and by face. And he said, the cop walked up to him talking about, don't you remember me? Yeah, we've been here before, but this time we hear about the dogs. Now, Kroy going to think, because he pays an HOH fee. Shout out to all of us out there that got paid them darn HOH fees. I don't know who came up with that. It's messy. But anywho, he pays an HOH fee, and he feels because he pays an HOH fee that all of this belongs to him. What? Kroy. First of all of them associations, they give you rules and regulations regardless of what you're paying. I don't care if you have to pay the association $1 a month, $200 a month, or $100 a month. You still can't do what you want to do. They got a whole byline list of stuff that you can't do, and you paying them. Don't put your garbage out over here. Don't change your door, make it look different than anybody else's. Don't throw a party late at night. Don't play your music loud. Don't. And the minute you do, they want to come and try to hit you with a fine. So how he think just because he pay association, all the land belong to him? I don't know. But sir, you got to keep that dog behind the gate. Keep that dog behind the gate. So the cops came and they found him, and he wanted to cry, talking about the neighbors hate him. Kroy got to grow up. He when he first met Kim laid it down on him. Y'all know what I'm trying to talk about. She laid it down on him so bad, he lost his natural mind. He disowned his own parents. She put it on him. Yes, she did. And he was loving it. And now here he is, 29,000 kids later, no money. He see that he got bamboozled and he's mad. He got regrets. But see, you know what? I'm a type of person where every day is a new day. If you got to start over, start over. You can't do nothing with no regrets. You can't change yesterday. You don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. Start over right now. And what they need to do is start over by downsizing. Start over by downsizing. Let it go. Let the dream go. The dream that has turned into a nightmare. Let it go. You're going to have to give up one or maybe both of the dogs, because if you can't afford to even feed yourself and your kids, you darn sure can't feed them dogs. And in the heyday, them dogs was probably used to eating steak, chicken, biscuits. The dogs was eating well. Going to the vet, getting massages and being groomed. And now the dogs, they're wondering like, what's going on? Where's the food? So after the dogs waited around a little bit and found out no food was coming, they said, well, we got to break out of here and go see if these neighbors got some food. I feel sorry for the dogs. But that's what happens. So this is weird. So our last story is this nurse from Louisiana. She goes to the steakhouse. She had on the tube top. She's very well endowed. She had on the matching skirt. She had on the matching skirt. She just wanted to go to the steakhouse with her friends and get herself something to eat. That's all she was trying to do. She was going to go out and get herself something to eat. And so she gets to the restaurant. The greeter, the hostess, speaks to her and says, what we going to do, whatever the case may be. And how many people you need, what's your seat, yada who. Then the manager comes out. The manager comes out and was like, you can't come in here looking like that. You can't, no. You don't look right. You can't come in here eating looking like that. And she was like, but I was here before. Like, I dressed like this before in this restaurant. She said, well, I don't know about the time before, but you can't come in here now. So then she starts to looking around, and the people serving got on fishnet tights, booty shorts. And she like, well, how your own workers not even in no real standard code, but you telling me I can't come in here because I'm looking like this? Where they do that at? And so the nurse said, everybody want to think that we just tried to pull the racism card or the color card or whatever. But she said, you got to make this make sense to me. So the restaurant didn't call to apologize yet. I don't know what's going on. But you know what? It's just crazy times. And she didn't look bad in her outfit. Nothing was wrong with her outfit. It's a piece of steak. And who really does these high standards? If you got Bianca Censori that can go to the movies, that can go to dinner, that could walk around with nothing on, I think what that nurse had on is pretty okay. Bianca Censori, you see right through her top. She doesn't show booty cheeks. She doesn't show her boobies. I mean, and literally, everything she wears is see-through. Imagine having to sit on a seat after Bianca Censori. She got the butt cheeks out. You don't know what's coming out of there. She's pretty much nude. And she get in every movie theater, every restaurant. Her and Kanye done went to Popeyes, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. AMC movie theater. They've been everywhere, literally, and she don't got a stitch of clothing on. Not one stitch. But this chick, she has on a nice outfit. From what I saw, when y'all see the video, y'all let me know. She had on a nice outfit. She wanted to get a piece of steak, and this woman comes and tells her, no. Now, I wouldn't have wanted to eat there afterwards anyway, for the point of it. Like, you don't want me here, I don't want to be here. But the principle is, like, where they do that at? So listen, guys, it's Friday night. It's trending topics. The title tonight is This Is Weird. This is weird. Okay? This is weird. I got to bring the people on in the building, so y'all do me a favor. Y'all know what I needed. Come on, Tay-Tay. I appreciate you. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Friday night trending topics, and the title is This Is Weird. We're talking about this Joy Reid and her controversial comments. Girl, do better. She's beautiful. She got a nice platform. Do better. Rise up to the top, girl, please. We got Kroy Biermann, Kim Zolciak and him. You know, they done lost every dime they made over the years. And now the poor dogs, in my opinion, I believe they starving. And then we're going to talk about this Louisiana nurse. Let me bring the people in the building. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, in my opinion. Hey, E. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Tiva.
Hey, Julius. Hey, Dustin. Hey, Wayne.
Hey.
Hey. All right, y'all.
Hello.
Hey. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get into the stories here. You know, we're going to start with Kroy because he need help. He need help. Everybody just mute for me, please, while we talking about the stories here. He need help. And we need to try to get him a little bit of help. Or, you know, he needs to go to some counseling or something. But this is a mess. So let me go ahead and present this first story. I hope I got the right thing open here. All right, there we go. So Kroy Biermann gets testy with cops after being ticketed for dog drama. The community doesn't like us. That's what he said. The community doesn't like us. Well, they don't like you. They want y'all gone because y'all don't have the money to be there anymore. So Kroy Biermann had trouble keeping his cool with the cops when he was ticketed for his dog escaping his yard. In Touch can confirm. The incident occurred in late June, and authorities said they have been called to the scene for a loose dog. The former NFL player seemed exasperated with the interaction from the start. They do it all day, every day, Kroy 38 said in the footage obtained by In Touch on Wednesday, July 24th. They call all the time. We had animal control called 10 plus times on us. We're in the public eye and going through a nasty divorce. The community does not like us. It's just harassment. The officer explained that the person who called in the complaint was being pretty reasonable about it and that they had received 2 separate calls that day. He also clarified that this wouldn't be going on Kroy's criminal record, but that the city's ordinance stated that the animal had to be confined to his property. He said, I'm being fined for my dog being on private property, Kroy scoffed. The cop replied, within the city, the dog has to be confined to your property. However, the Don't Be Tardy alum seemed to bristle at the words. This is my property, Kroy said as he waved his hands in the air. This is my property, and I pay HOH dues, so I have the right to have this property. Another officer later gave Kroy a brief summary of the incidents that occurred and said that his dog had chased the neighbor to the other side of the street and they had to jump inside somebody's car. He added that the person thought they were going to have to pepper spray the dog. Okay. TMZ was the first to report the news. Kroy and his estranged wife, Kim Zolciak, have been going through a messy divorce since 2023. And authorities have been called to their home for various incidents multiple times in December 2023. One of the former couple's children phoned the police after their parents had gotten into a heated argument. Kim, 46, 46 and Kroy were arguing and yelling at each other, according to the police filing obtained by In Touch at the time. The body cam footage showed Kim sitting in the car while Kroy yelled from a distance and claimed that she had been effing other men. It's nothing but an act. It's all BS. Everything she does, Kroy said. There's no money. There's no house. We're getting a divorce one day. And he said in the next, we're not. Okay. When the officer asked Kroy to step back, he replied, calm down. When I don't have he said, when I don't have an effing life, I don't have someone who will effing listen to me. Oh, calm down. You want to live this MFer? You wouldn't have lasted a year. You wouldn't have lasted a day in this effing house. The cop eventually came back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum and asked if she was okay. I just want to get divorced. I just want it to be over. He wouldn't let me leave this morning. He jumped in front of my car. He's blocking me from leaving, Kim replied. Listen, these two are a hot, flaming mess. Let me see if I could show you the video where he, has this exchange with the cops. But this is nothing new. They forever, have an exchange with the cops. I'm telling you, sometimes those cops, I don't know if they're unions or whatever, they'll call and they'll be like, do you want to donate some money, to the cause or whatever the case may be, to the cops? And I'm like, no. Kim and Kroy, they need to donate when they do get some money and they start making money again. They need to donate to this cop because they don't utilize them about 1,000 times over already. So give me a minute. Let me see. It's just pushing through this commercial and we'll hear, his interaction with the police.
Hey, that's what I don't know. I just pulled up. So what happened?
We got a call for a loose dog.
Okay.
It was like aggressive to like neighbors, something like that.
They do it all day, every day.
Did you say something about dog coming to you?
Yeah, he came out to say hello to me, but he barked at me, so
So he came out of the house.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's his house though.
Neighbors
Okay.
call all the time. We've had animal control calls probably 10 plus times on us.
Okay.
We're in the public eye. We're going through a very nasty divorce. The community does not like us. It's harassment, but whatever you need me to say or whatever you need me to do.
No, we're just here to investigate, sir.
It was probably been a couple months. I've been out here before. Do you remember me?
Maybe.
I know we've been here for different reasons, but I was here specifically about the dog the one time. Okay. So today, and again, this isn't actually the neighbors are being pretty reasonable about it, but we have a couple complaints, one from earlier this morning, then one from this afternoon, and then the one from this afternoon had somebody that observed it. So all we're going to do at this point, because of the history, is do just a city muni code. It's not like anything goes on your criminal record or anything. It's just the city ordinance says that an animal has to be confined to your property. It can't run out or get off the property. Be aware that if it were to run or bite or do something like that, and animal control gets notified or something, they would take much more severe measures potentially. So at that point, that's what's going to be done today. Like I said, that's just something you sign, and you can either show up, pay, whatever right you have the right to do either. So we can knock that out really quickly, and then you'll be good. So
I'm being fined for my dog being on private property.
it's within the city. It has to be confined to your property.
Right,
Inside.
This is my property.
What do you mean?
This is my property because I pay HOA dues, so I have a right to have this property.
The way the law is interpreted is your dog is confined
That's
to your.
a lawyer.
Well, that, like I said, that is, I agree. If you don't, we aren't going to probably come to agreement today. But like I said, I'm not trying to be antagonistic or nasty. We've always been fine. But I have a right to do what's right by everybody. So
This is what my sergeant talked about. I talked about this milling animal at large, and this is what happened this morning. Said put your dog right out of open gate, and it chased two different people at two different times. More. That's a abbreviated version of what happened. In my report, I am going to go in more in the detail about how dog ran out and what the people said. One got chased to the other side of the street and had to jump in somebody's car, and somebody else they got chased. They said just this side of the street and thought they had to pepper spray your dog. That's what they said.
They pepper sprayed
No,
my dog?
thought they were going to have to. Thought.
But either way, like I said, just in the future, if the dogs are out, just shut. Is this the only way they can get out is through this gate? Mr. Biermann, is this the only way they can get out is through the gate if it's shut?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Oh my God. Now go ahead, sir. Ask any questions you want. All right. So
Whoo, child. When it rains, it pours for them. Leo, your thoughts?
I tell you what, Croy ain't looking good. He is aging by the second. Okay, he is not looking good at all. At all. Too bad, too sad. You feed your dogs, keep them in check. They don't need to be running the neighborhood. I don't care how much HOA fees you pay. They're a danger to the neighborhood. The people don't want y'all there. They got good reason not to. It's too bad. It's too bad. Kroy people. Y'all need to talk to him and let him know anything and everything he can do to get out of that marriage and move to a whole nother state, reconcile with your parents, do what you need to do, because this ain't working out. This ain't working out. It's not working out for you. Kid, you need to move on. You need to do whatever you need to do to get out of this situation. Your wife don't want you. The community don't want you. The people don't want, and hell, the dogs don't even want you because they trying to break free. So this is really, really bad on him. And he looks bad. He looks like he going through it.
He does. He does. And he's only 38.
Oh my God, he looked 48.
I know. Yeah, this is rough.
And what was Kim when this was going on? Does anybody know where Kim was at?
Well, you know, she did. That was June. That happened in June. So I don't know if she was doing, because, you know, she got that one. She did Surreal Life. I don't know. Maybe
she must have been somewhere filming.
Yeah, she might have been somewhere filming.
Okay. Too bad.
Yeah. Good night. In my opinion, your thoughts? In my opinion, you there? All right, we're going to slide on over. Savannah, you there?
You know, at this point, they are harassing us. And this has to be the longest eviction, bank takeover, foreclosure on a property in history. I need to know what they are doing to not be paying the mortgage on this property and still be there years later. Because I recall last year we were having Croy and Kim conversations about not paying their bills. And this citation is going to be another bill that they cannot pay. So I'm just baffled that they're still in the news for the same things. And it's, you know, in Georgia there is no leash law, but I know in some counties the leash can extend X amount of feet depending on what county he's in and what type of dogs they have, because you have to register all breeds, all types of dogs in Georgia. There is a registry in case that animal does bite, that they are able to trace it back. I don't feel sorry for him. I just want them to go away and stop harassing us altogether. And he does look, he looks like he's ready to snap. He really does. Troy is not the Troy or Kroy. Look, I gave him a new name. He probably needs to go somewhere and change his name and start all over.
Start all over with the
and just start all over. Oh, good Lord. I pray for the children. That's all I can say, for the small children that are still involved in this dysfunction of a house.
So I think
that's all I have to do.
Yeah, thank you. I think they didn't put him out yet because I think when she got this job on Surreal Life, they once again saved the home. But when you got to keep constantly trying to save your home like that, you need to just let it go. Because it's just like going to be a never ending vicious cycle. You're behind, then you catch up. You're behind again, then you catch up again. Katrina, you're up.
Leo, you a mess. You said the dog don't even the dog didn't even want him. Look, the thing of it, they stupid. I mean, like you had the money. The best thing you should have did is went on and paid that house off. The property tax you could have dealt with it, but you already had the money. You could have just went on and bought the house. Then they refinanced the house. And now, don't they know when you have a foreclosure in a neighborhood like that, they're gonna bring down the other house values that are around them? Now the dog's getting out. And because you got an HOA, I'm surprised the HOA people ain't put them out because normally if you don't go by the stipulation on an HOA, they'll have you removed, even if you paying your rent or whatsoever. If you miss a fee, if you miss paying one payment of their fees, they can try to have you put out your house. And to have the police keep coming in and out of there the way they are, I'm surprised HOA. I guess the color. Anyway, I'm surprised they ain't been put out because HOA don't play that. And him and them dogs, I don't know if these are the same dogs that attacked his son once before. I
That's
don't know if they pit bulls or not, but I'm not for sure. But and you always got to make sure they on lock because a pit bull, if they don't know you, they're gonna attack you, and they going straight for the throat. But that's a sad thing that he's going through all that. But you know what? When you do wrong by your parents, everything else fall down by the wayside because you never should have disrespected your parents, her and Kim. I mean, him and Kim. Both of them disrespected their parents. And do you think you was going to get something good out of that? I don't think so. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. You're up.
Hey, everybody. I don't have too much to add. I think that Kim and Kroy are very nasty and despicable people. I think that it is unfortunate when you are facing housing insecurity for the sake of the children, of course. However, I am someone who does not like dogs. And so I understand why the woman called the police. And since this is a stay in your ground state, I'm not sure why the dog is still living. They didn't have no neighbors out there that practice their Second Amendment. Because I know some people that would have sent that dog to the dirt. Amen. So, when the police officer says, "Do you remember me?" From before, I think that should be embarrassing. I think the children are embarrassed as well. They have to go to school and live in this neighborhood. And the bottom line is, if Kim went back to the surreal life to make a few coins and nickels, y'all should have taken that money and went back to the townhouse, because I thought Kim still owned the townhouse. Go someplace smaller that you can afford and then start all the way over. But I don't have any sympathy over you keeping this privileged house and you don't have the privileged bank account.
Well, then there's that. Okay. Thank you, E. Julius, you're up.
Cry me a river. No matter where you live, keep your dog on a leash. Cry me a river. And the cop was already and by the cop saying, "You remember me?" The cop was already telling him, "Don't start with your ish, cause you forget I've been here before. Don't start with your ish." The people sick of them. The community sick of them. Shoot, us on the panel is sick of them.
I appreciate you, Julius. Wayne, you're up.
Don't forget about the dogs.
I I agree with E. They don't
Turn them
belong.
dogs into hot dogs.
They don't belong there. They don't have the status. They don't have what that neighborhood requires. I hate to say it. They don't belong there because they barely own the property. But one thing I will say, it was really enlightening to see how police officers can be so professional, courteous, de-escalating, informative, damn near coddling I'm not sure if it would go down. It would have gone down the same way if it was turned around. That was the most professionalism I've ever seen in my life. It was damn near rehearsed. But to them, they're clowns, you know. And maybe they're making some money off of the content or something. I'm done.
I appreciate you, Wayne, but you just spoke some facts there. You laid it on the people easy, but you spoke some facts there. Calm. We've been here before. If it was somebody else, they'd be like, I'm tired of coming here. And Kroy talks slick out his mouth all the time. All the time he talking slick out his mouth. He's like, this is my property. What? They always calling on us. What you want? I'm getting ticketed. Well, my dog getting out. Then he gonna say, like, did he go see about the dog? Because he was like, they maced my dog. If they would have maced your dog, I think you would have knew that, Kroy. I'm hoping so. Tay, you're up.
Kroy. Ever since you married to that no good gold digger who always spend all your money when you been married her. Why you had dogs for you and you don't care about them, did not take care of them, groom them, feed them, because you don't have no job. Every time we hear your name, get us a break. You and your family cause me a headache already. I'm tired of you and your wife. Y'all both need to get a J-O-B, a job. God, just get out chat, okay? Please. And I feel bad, poor doggy, because it will start to death because you're selfish right there. And shout out to the police saying, we've been here before. Because you and your wife been calling 911. I don't know how many times they call 911 on your property. So you say this is my property? Well, get a JOB to pay all that stuff you and your wife did not still ain't paid. All the rent, the clothes, and everything. Get off my line. You don't play with me. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you, Tay. So listen, Kroy, and I think they should just get a fine for the cops having to come out there 99 times per year at their home. But we'll go ahead and roll into the next story, and we might as well talk about this Joy Reid. I thought her comments were reckless, but she's always being reckless. I think she had to apologize. It was around 2018 or something like that for things she said about the LG, the LG. You know, I don't want to miss a letter, but you know, come on, talk to me, Julius. Go tell me the letters.
Okay.
Just
those four with the Q. You're good.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You know, she had to say apologize for words that she said about the community. So it was like, girl, you on a bigger platform. Like, come on now, stop being so reckless with your words. So let's go right into this story. So MSNBC's Joy Reid message to Black people: you're weird if you don't vote for Kamala. So let's hear what she has to say here.
Given the just stratospheric entrance of Vice President Kamala Harris into the presidential campaign, and she has now secured enough delegates to become the nominee, you're going to look real crazy being on the other side of that line, particularly as a person of color, but really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're going to look real weird and real lonely on that side. The door needs to close behind Amber. And she looked crazy over there. But shut the door behind her. You really are going to look crazy being on that side, given the cultural phenomenon of Vice President Kamala Devi
So MSNBC's host Joy Reid has a scathing message for Black people who may be waffling on supporting Kamala Harris for president, saying they'll get side-eyed if they don't get on board. The TV personality took to TikTok Tuesday evening, where she declared Black voters will look real weird if they choose to not vote for the vice president, who's the presumptive Democratic nominee after President Biden exited the race. As Joy Reid put it, Kamala is a cultural phenomenon and set to make history as potentially the first female and first Asian American president in the U.S. and in the U.S. Of course, she also be the second Black president if elected. Because of the significance of this, Joy thinks people of color need to fall in line behind her or run the risk of getting side-eyed. As you can imagine, she's getting flack for this sentiment. Some are saying Joy's message here is reminiscent of the time Biden said, "You ain't Black" if you consider Trump as a candidate, which caused enough backlash that Joe Biden issued a formal apology. Joy also took a moment to once again call out Amber Rose, who publicly endorsed Donald Trump, and spoke to the Republican National Convention last week. Joy thinks the door needs to close behind Amber without any other people of color jumping to the MAGA side. In other words, Joy seems to think that Trump and Republicans truly don't have Black people's best interests at heart, and it is outright saying African Americans who vote for DT, Donald Trump, in November are truly lost and confused souls. It goes without saying, not everyone agrees. Ooh. Leo, your thoughts?
As a person that really enjoyed Joy Reid's commentary, a lot of times it's very insightful and very in-depth, but she's also extremely hyperbolic, right? So she does say things, it just, in my opinion, that she always say, sharing is caring, or sharing your fear is caring. So she does a lot of hyperbolic fear rhetoric on her show that I'm just not connected with. And this is just a pure example of that. But I will not throw the baby out with the bathwater. I feel like conclusively she does have a commentary that is insightful, but she does do this. You know, nobody's perfect. She does come off hyperbolic, and she does make hysterical commentary a lot of times. And to tell, Black people, we're going to look at you sideways if you don't vote for Kamala, it is, it's stupid, right? It's stupid. I hope that in the future she will address Kamala's politics and her policies in the future when those are presented to argue a case for voting, and not just vote for her. Don't talk to people like that. If you are an intellectual person and you give such intellectual commentary, then speak to people on that level. Just don't say you weird if you don't vote for her. That is not a sustaining argument, and it's not something I can actually get behind. Because listen, if the people were saying that, if people rejected the commentary of voting for Joe Biden, even if he's a corpse, then of course people are going to reject the commentary of, if you don't vote for her, I'm gonna be giving you the side eye. Treat us like we got a brain.
That part.
Just treat us like we got a brain.
Right. That part. I appreciate you, Leo. Thank you. In my opinion, you're up. I think we lost, in my opinion. Savannah, you're up.
Steve, I want to be honest and say that I'm actually not upset with what Joy said. I think people are tired. I just think this has been 8+ years of just ugliness and nothing, no real substance coming from, I want to say, from government, from both sides. And people are just tired. And so I'm not upset with, and I do watch Joy. I actually like her a lot. She's one of the shows that I listen to at night. And I think Joy as well is tired. I have seen, and this was before Vice President Harris has not made was made the nominee or potential nominee. A conversation she had with like April and some other news commentators, because they at that time Trump had gained momentum with the alleged incident, and they were talking about how the attack was coming towards the media, and it was the media's fault, and so the women hadn't sat down and had a discussion, and I just really think people are tired of getting blamed, getting fingers pointed at, and I think, and I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, but the comment when Michelle said, when they go low, we go high, and people are just tired of going high. I think it's time, when they go low, we go HE double hockey sticks from now on. I think it's just that time, and
Come on,
so
sister.
I'm not mad at her for saying what she said. I actually think we need to hear more of that. And I just think it's time to start being honest. And if the other side, whether it's red or blue, comes with some BS, I want to say, okay, prove it. Let's get to the real facts. So I actually am not, I don't have any negative feelings on what Joy said. I think we need more of that. Um, and Amber Rose, is she's just a joke. I don't. She fit exactly where she was at in the RNC. Um, Someone who was um, the founder of that blank, what is it, blank walk? I don't want to say the word blank walk, and how she tried to promote that and put out that rhetoric to young ladies that it was okay to be referred to as that by men. I have absolutely nothing positive to say about Amber Rose, and her rise to fame was riding anyone that she could find. She's a fool and she's a clown, and she fit exactly where she was at. So I say kudos to Joy.
Mm. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you for the super chat. She said Joy Reid educates us all the time. This is a soundbite and not fully representative of her. What she said was correct and fully accurate. All right. I appreciate the super chat. All right. I appreciate the super chat. That's all I could get out right now. E, you're up.
I agree with everything Savannah said. Savannah, girl, you talking too real and too right. I just really feel like I don't know where this quote unquote agenda has come from. From so many different angles, people are trying to police the way that the Democratic supporters are rooting for Kamala. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to root for Kamala when you see what's happening on the other side, and how there was a man in New York went and set himself ablaze outside of the courtroom where, I mean, there's so many things that the Trump supporters do, and they wear those red hats to this day in my state. These MAGA hats, and really those should be banned. If we're going to take it there, then where does it end? Where does it stop around here? I'm going to say this: I don't follow this person who is this lady? I forgot her name already. Joy. I don't follow her. I've heard of her, similar to Leo. I don't agree with everything she says, but a broken clock is right at least twice a day. And she's right on this. I'm going to look at people sideways. I'm already looking at you sideways. Hell, if you do not vote blue, I'm looking at you sideways. And listen, the message is not for everyone, but it's going to land someplace. And it should make people uncomfortable because it's not just your vote. You're voting for an entire, our democracy is on the line. It sounds so dramatic to say, but it's true. My rights are on the line. My womanly rights are on the line. My child's rights are. There's so many people who are up in there. There's so many people outraged about this. I can't even articulate it the way I want to. But let me just try to calm down a little bit. The people who get upset and are turned off by the message, in my opinion, weren't really going to vote for Kamala anyway. Because if you're going to vote for Kamala, then you'll have to worry about us looking at you weird. But I do think that we tried to talk sensibly to people the first time around. And that's why this is so frustrating and personal to me. Because when Hillary was running against the scamming, lying, essay, twice impeached, convicted felon former president, they didn't want to listen to policy. Hillary ran a campaign that was strictly based on policy. She told us every single thing she wanted to do. She talked about the green policy effects that she wanted to put out. She talked about how she wanted to use energy, how she wanted to convert that. She talked about protecting women's rights. She talked about protecting LGBT rights. She ran a campaign on policy. And then on the flip side, you had the orange one running a campaign on hatred. Okay. So Hillary told us in the beginning, if Trump gets into office, Roe v. Wade would be reversed. Hillary warned us that women's reproductive rights were on the line, and the very demographic that she was advocating for and she was preaching to, us women, turned against her and didn't vote, all because of some damn emails. Now look, everything she said came to fruition. Roe v. Wade is overturned. They're talking about banning contraceptives. And really, if you do not have any children, I heard the other day Donald's VP running mate said that your vote shouldn't even count as much if you don't even have kids. Just pay your taxes and let the parents make all the decisions. As a mom, even I have to say, that way of thinking is very flawed and it's ridiculous. So hell yeah, it's time to switch up the messaging, because when we talk to people polite, when we talked about policy, people didn't want to hear it. So now we're going to talk a little bit greasy because now we pissed off and we have every right to be. It's palpable now, and we're too close to the finish line right now. And so, in my opinion, like I said, you are weird. Everybody's weird if you don't vote for it. And these are my opinions, not Divas. If you don't vote for Kamala, you are weird. And if you vote for Donald Trump, I can't tolerate it. I'm tired of this shaming tactic where people take exception with the word people use to articulate their encouragement to get people to come out in November and vote blue. I want people to use that same energy and apply that to Donald Trump and all of the hateful things that he and his campaign has been putting out about Kamala and all of her previous people who she has slept with. They're turning this into the Maury show. Oh, she was with this person, she was with this person, she slept around, and she's dumb as a sock of nickels. The way that they talk on that side is outrageous and it's so misogynistic. And then when we come on this side, the worst that people get upset about is the girl said, "You're weird. I'm going to look at you weird." I don't think so. I think she could have went a little bit further than that.
Thank you, E. So, so let me say this. But this is just me. I don't believe in when they go low, I'm gonna go to hell with them. I'm not doing that. You go ahead and go to hell yourself, and you go low, and I'm going to stay high. I also believe that when you are in certain platforms, that you should always aim to educate. And we will never know who anybody truly voted for because people lie. People will adjust to a situation, and if they know it's polarizing, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I voted for Kamala." In the meantime, their vote went somewhere else. right? Because the last time, you know, this happened, it wasn't like it was a landslide. It was very close. But everybody you spoke to, they'd be like, no, I didn't vote for him, but somebody did. So people don't always tell the truth when they're actually coming out to speak about who they vote for. So if they're in a certain room, they'd be like, yeah, I voted for this one. And then they're in another room, they'd be like, I voted for that one. And you never really truly will ever know. So what I'm saying is that, to me, I always will lean towards the role of education. You know, so that to me is not how you get somebody to understand the cause that you're coming from. I'm going to show this. I'm going to show this group, the one leader, the ones that was speaking for this group, that they raised, they came together. You could go look her up. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But they had a phone call, they had a Zoom, because a lot of these Zooms are going on, and they raised $8.5 million for Kamala, right? So she has the same message as Joy Reid is having. But instead of what I say, I'm going to say, to be easy with the words, not to lose the people, instead of dumbing down the message, she leveled up and gave all the reasons and the policies as to why your vote should go that way. And all I'm saying is that why, when we talk to each other, it has to be this sister girl, let's take it low, let's do this. This girl actually told all the reasons. Let me play a little bit of this. Oh, shoot, it jumped to another screen. Give me a minute.
Do. Now, that said, that is not an excuse for not getting involved. You know, I feel a lot of shame that it took me so long to get involved in some of the issues I'm involved in. It really took the shooting at Sandy Hook School for me to realize that I had an obligation to get involved in democracy. And Alice Walker has said, you know, activism is the rent I pay to live on the planet. I think that's an important way to think and to live. That isn't to shame white women, because I'm grateful when they do finally get off the sidelines and they do see that they have this power that they can use to change things for the better and not just for themselves. Jessica Valenti, the feminist author, talks a lot about the role that white women play in activism. And I'll just, as an example, you know, white women trust the system, unlike, say, Black and brown women sometimes. And if you want a permit, ask a white woman, because she knows how to work the system and she believes it works, and she can get you a permit very quickly, right? And that's something you need to have a rally or a march. And so I think it's about seeing the strengths and weaknesses of everyone involved. I think, though, it is really important that white women are willing to go through the transformational process of listening and learning. And so often I think that's where we get stopped, because we have this privilege. We assume that we are the experts, or we assume that we're going to be listened to, or that we should be out front. That is where we get tripped up a little bit, where really what we should be doing is absorbing what we need to know and understanding how we can be most helpful instead of assuming.
There's more to hold on one second. There's more. I actually listened to her whole message on how they came together and decided to raise money. They didn't know they was going to raise $8.5 million. And I want to say again, this was in like less than a day or something like that, when they decided that they was going to come out and back Kamala. And she gave all the reasons why. She talked about things that happened way back 2016, all of that. So my point is that I'm saying is that when you speak to people, there should be some education behind it. There should be some, information on how we can get this thing done, versus just telling somebody, I'm going to give you the side eye. Come on, I'm about, I can pull back on the emotions a little bit when it comes to certain subjects, right? I appreciate you, RDRD. So my thing is that I told y'all before, when it comes to the political conversations, I can have them, but the thing is, I will pull information from all sides. And I do know the importance of, when you have a certain platform, that you try to help the people level up instead of bringing them down. We're already in the gutter. We know that. We're there, right? We're there in the gut. We're in the gutter. How do we rise above? If you match them with their same energy, then 9 times out of 10, we're the ones that's going to lose. We see that with these cops. And us keep saying, well, this is wrong, that is wrong. It hasn't gotten us anywhere. I just recently saw a clip, and I didn't realize how many years it's been since George Floyd and some of the other individuals that lost their lives at the hand of cops. But I think one of the mothers lost their son. It's been 10 years already. I can't even believe it's 10 years. And the dad said, 10 years later, and we're still in the same spot. He said, because what happens is, and we're good for this as a community, when something is in our face, we pick up the initiative, we run with it for that moment, and then right after that, we drop it down and it's all gone. Like we just lose it. We let it go. So my thing is that, you know, when we're in such positions, we can take what Joy Reid said, you know, just I'm gonna give you the side eye. You're not educating anybody. You're not helping anyone. You're not giving them information. There may be someone that's listening to you that something you say, if you're trying to educate, you're going to help them level up. So this particular young lady, she is saying the same thing, which I feel Joy Reid is saying, but she didn't come out and just say, oh, you need to vote for Kamala, or I'm going to give you the side eye. What she said was, here are all the things that are going on. These are all the situations that have been impacting us way back in the 2000s. And she said, I'm woke now. I'm woke now. And this is the reason why I went to go raise this money, and we're pushing to get her in office. My screen shifted a little bit. I believe I'm at Katrina. I'm up. You're up.
Yeah, it's all about the wording and how you carry yourself and what you say to reach the people. Everybody know what's going on. Everybody see what's going on. And we can't influence or we can't make people vote the way we want them to vote. They got to vote the way they want to vote. Because like you said, don't nobody know who vote for who when they go behind that little curtain. I could say I voted for this person. You could say you voted for that person. But they need to look at the world, see how the world is being ran, seeing what this man, what the candidates are saying, listen to what the candidates are saying, or listen to what the candidates plan on doing. Therefore, you will know which way to go. Because some of the things that he's saying is just it's ridiculous and pathetic. And I'm not saying everything that she's saying is correct either, but you have to listen to the people for yourself. You have to follow your own heart. You got to follow your own brain. But the main thing about it is you got to listen. You got to hear what they're saying, because he's saying it right out in your face what he's going to do. So you just got to pay attention. And like I said, we can't make people vote for anybody. They have to do this for themselves. But you just got to listen and read up and understand what the candidates are saying. Therefore, you know which way to go. That's all I got, Diva.
Appreciate you. Wayne, you're up.
Well, you may not know who somebody votes for, but the tree is known by the fruit it bears. That's all I say on that one. I like Joy Reid, and I'm not going to nail it to the cross on this one, because I might just feel just like how she feel. I might just feel just like a whole lot of other people feel, but we just ain't going to say it. Okay? I think the message got to who it needed to get to. I don't think it changed anything or anybody's mind that if they were going to vote Kamala Harris, they still going to vote for her. Okay? This story this lady just gave, it was beautiful. I really liked it. And she told a whole lot of truth there. Okay. So maybe Joy didn't do it this time. She ain't 100. She got a whole platform, and she can come back. If there's anything she needs to correct, she got a platform. She can do all that. So I don't think no more different for Joy Reid than I did before. I think she's a great commentator. She takes on topics a lot of them don't take on. And I like the way she presents the story, her commentary. So, okay. She said something that some people didn't like. All right. I'm done.
Appreciate you. Tay, you're out.
You may skip me on this right here, Diva.
Okay,
Diva, you skip
you're
me.
out. Okay, I'll come back to you. I'm sorry, Julie. It's my screen shift. I'll come back to you. In my opinion, you're out.
So I think when you have a platform, and she has a platform, when you have a platform, you have to speak with intention. We cannot lower ourselves to speak like any other person else. You have a purpose when you speak. And I think Joy Reid should have used her platform to educate the people and say, look, this is what she's running on. And these are the reasons why y'all should vote for her. Not saying that what she said was actually wrong. It's just that she has a bigger purpose to educate and lead the people in a different way because her platform is bigger. And I think that she missed the ball on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't sit here and try to tell somebody, oh, they're going to be looked upon themselves differently if they don't vote for somebody else. No, because everybody has a purpose and they have a responsibility to themselves to do the work. But all you can do is go out there and educate the people, tell them what policies you see in these candidates that you want to see moving forward, and let people use their own voice to vote for who they want to. So I'm going to tell all y'all, when y'all go on to the polls in November, vote for the person that got the policies that you want to see happen.
I appreciate you. In my opinion, Julius, you're out.
So as an unaffiliated voter, I feel like for me, I have a multi-layer system as I choose who to vote for. The first part of it, I picture myself as each of the candidates and see how I feel. The second part is I, separate my personal life from. Like, then I imagine myself going back, picturing myself as the candidate. And while I do or say a certain kind of way. The third part of it is I go by the candidate's character and how they move. And then the final part is their policies and so forth. And it's like a checklist, how every time we go on a trip, we have a checklist just to make sure we're not forgetting anything. And that's what I do when I decide to vote. And I think now everybody does it differently than I do. And guess what? That's okay. And I want to encourage everybody, and I've been saying this because I feel like this needs to be constantly said. Do not sit home being on social media complaining. Be at your polling location and vote. Make your voice heard. I can't say that enough because it is the truth. Our ancestors fought for that. Exercise it. Is Donald Trump my cup of tea? No. But is he other people's cup of tea? That's on them. And I've had conversations even when I was on vacation with people who are Trump supporters. And guess what? It was a very respectful dialogue. Did we call each other out our names? Did we degrade each other? No. We had dialogue. And he's like, and one gentleman told me, he's like, look, I can't tell you to vote for my guy just like you can't tell me to vote for you guy. But guess what? I'm not going to wish no ill will on you. I'm like, exactly. Can we go back to that, please? Because it's very easy. But we let the lights, the glamour, the action, and all the know-how drive a wedge in between us. I know this went on to a little bit of a rant, but I wanted to make a point that respectful dialogue does need to come back and a quorum. That's all.
I appreciate you, and I do agree with that, Julius. I will say this: everybody's telling me, and I did hear this, that next week, Joy Reid is breaking down Project 2025. Well, you know, and again, y'all know I don't get cute over here. I didn't go to Harvard or Yale. I already broke down Project 2025 for myself. But after y'all hear Joy say it, y'all could come back to me, because I'm telling you already. Let's see how she break it down. But I'm telling you already that 99.9% of the stuff that they're talking about in there is already happening. It's already happening. But I'll wait till y'all hear from Joy, because y'all got to hear from Joy. And
But it's not happening in my community, though, Diva.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm just talking about generically, because I read it and I went through it, you know. And I'm saying this respectfully, and I ain't fighting with nobody, but I'm saying this respectfully. Y'all told me Biden was never going to step down. It wasn't going to happen. It happened. I'm telling y'all, I read Project 2025, and most of the stuff that is in there is already happening. So what happens is, it's already happening. So what happens is they do a lot of stuff, but because typically we don't read for ourselves. Okay, now I'm just talking in general, everybody. We don't read for ourselves, and we listen when someone else speak, and then we run with what they said instead of looking at it ourselves. I'm telling you that for the most part, all of that stuff is already happening. It's happening with the police. It's happening in the schools. So they already regulated the school lunch to begin with, because if you were outside of the economic bracket, you wasn't getting the school lunch anyway. It's so much. Here's the other thing. I know people got so mad when I said this, but I'm going to say it again. When I asked about how much Black history was being taught in the schools to begin with, because everybody's like, they're going to take it out. I'm telling you, it wasn't that much in the school anyway. And I'm not saying that means they should take the little bit that was in out, but I'm just telling you that it wasn't that much in there anyway. PPL said it's 920 something pages. What part of what I said is not true? What part of what I said is not true? Talk to me. And then after you hear from Joy Reid, you come back to me and let's see what she says, depending upon how she breaks it down. So there is not that much Black history in the schools to begin with now. If you go to any local public school, and I'm talking about K through 12, Anthony, if y'all want to do tomato, and y'all want to say not all of it, most of it is. Most of it is. And if we break this thing down point by point that they got in there, most of it is already happening. But because y'all don't recognize it for what it is, for the wording that they're putting in there, maybe you think it's not happening. But it is. So what I'm telling you is, if you go to any public school right now and you get the books from K through 12, it's not that much Black history that is taught. It is not. And I'm going to tell you why it's not. Because half of the things that Black people do, they didn't even attribute it to us anyway. So how could it be in there? And they didn't even say, they don't even give us credit for doing it. But I'm going to move on and I'm going to move forward, right? I'm going to let y'all go because, listen, like I said, I got chopped down to the bone. You know, when I was growing up, they used to say to the white meat, I got chopped down to the bone. People told me I didn't know politics, this, that, and the other. What I do know is that the rules are made to keep us in check, right? And then, so that's really why the rules are made. So everybody's saying because of the rules, this, that, and other. They do what they want to do at any given time, and they will justify it. Because this I will put money on. If Obama had Trump's history, he would not even been able to be in the running against Biden in the first place. That I will put everything I own on. They would have never let it happen. They are letting Trump get away with some unprecedented stuff. It is unbelievable and it is crazy. And what I'm saying is that if we talk real here and we educate the people so that the conversation could level up and not just saying, oh, he this, he that, and blah, blah, blah. Let's level up the conversation. Let's pull out the rule books and the laws and the this and the that and the other. Because you see, Trump is being messy. As messy as he is, he will always go back to the rules and the regulations to try to get his way. Because what they was trying to do was, they was trying to say that Kamala couldn't get this money that was already raised. But he was going back in the rule book to try to finagle that thing and do whatever with that thing. Listen, I can't go here with y'all. I know how this conversation gets. And until y'all hear from somebody else, y'all going to say, Diva, you're crazy. And that's fine. So
But Diva,
yes.
But I hear what you're saying, but we cannot level up with people who are not mentally prepared to meet us where we are. So when we hear people use the verbiage, I'm going to look at you here. She's going down to their level so that they can understand. Because if they really cared about policy, it's out there. They can see what Kamala is planning to do.
We're going to have to come to a common ground with that. I'm never going to jump down in the jungle with the people. I'm not doing that. I'm not going down in hell to meet you in hell so you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm going to stay up on my throne, and either you rise up to me, but I'm not going to lower myself to you, because once I lower myself to you, I'm opening the door to all kind of mess that I may not be able to get myself out of. I'm not doing that. Listen, I related to this. I related to YouTube. There are a ton of people on YouTube that they handle their channel all kind of ways. Is cursing, is this, is that, the other. I'm not going there. And not because I say I'm better. I'm not going to go there. That's not what I'm going to do. There are people that once they get information, they will put out the story no matter what, no matter who gets hurt, as long as they get their clicks and their views. I'm telling you, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. There are many people that will put out a story and they don't have the backup. And yeah, it may be true. They don't have the backup for it. But guess what? I'm not doing that. So to say that the only way that somebody can understand where I'm coming from is I'm going to jump down in the gutter with them, I'm not. Just in the only way the most recent part that I could relate to y'all on that, I'm telling you, the people dragged me across the coast for filth when we had that first political conversation. And I just said, all right, I let it go. I let y'all go. I just let it go. I let it go. And like I said, it was 7 days later and the man dropped out, right? But the people wanted to tell me I didn't know politics. All I'm saying is I'm not going to lower my standards no matter what the situation is. I'm not going to lower my standards so you can rise up and meet me where I'm at. Get yourself educated, get the book. That's why I told the people, read the 920 pages. The way some of these people are talking, I know for a fact they didn't read them pages. And if you did read it, they didn't comprehend. They didn't comprehend. Because as soon as I asked some questions about it, everybody started redirecting and going somewhere else. Someone told me, well, Diva, you didn't go to a Black college. Well, what this is talking about taking education. First of all, most of those Black colleges are private owned and they could do what they want. But I'm talking about K through 12 education. There's not a whole lot of Black history being taught. So when they say they want to take it out, they know how to incite us. They know how to separate us, and they know how to get us worked up on something so they can distract us when they're trying to do this over here. But I'm going to leave that on the table. Let me go on. Let me move on. Let's move on to this last story. The last story is I'm sorry. The last story is the Louisiana nurse. The Louisiana nurse who went to the restaurant. They didn't like the clothing that she had on, and they wouldn't let her in. Okay, so let me go ahead and share screen. Shoot. Hold on, guys. Not that. I lost my story literally. Okay, There we go. I got it.
One-on-one with a Louisiana woman in my hometown. This is after she was kicked out of an upscale steakhouse in Baton Rouge. She was told she was showing too much skin. We have with Iman McClanahan, who is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where her incident happened. So, Iman, tell us, you were out meeting friends or a friend, and you were going to have dinner at Stab's Steakhouse in Baton Rouge, right?
Yes, sir. I was going to have.
What happened?
So I was going to meet my friend for lunch at 12. There were like hardly any cars in the parking lot, but I frequently visit Stab's just for their appetizer, which is the trovo shrimp. So I got there, went inside. I was greeted by the very sweet hostess who asked how me and my party, like typical restaurant behavior. And I told her, oh, it'll be 2 people. And she said, okay, one moment. And she's picking up the menus. As she's picking up those menus, the owner comes and she's like, ma'am, you can't wear that in there. Now, you know, I have on the 2-piece set that is now gone viral from H&M. And I'm like, why can't, like, what's wrong with what I have on? I've worn this here several times before, and I have pictures of being in here with it on several times before. And she's like, well, I have nothing to do with what's happened before, but we've cracked down on our policy recently on what people wear. And I said, well, I was just in here like 2 weeks ago with a similar outfit on. And she was like, well, that has nothing to do with me, and just walked off and stopped talking to me like mid-sentence. So I'm just standing there kind of like.
And so that was your notice to leave. You had to go after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She was like, you can put on a jacket or you can leave. And it's summertime in Louisiana. And so I'm sure like our weather is like Houston is hot. So of course I don't have a jacket in my car. So I'm like just standing there kind of like, and I'm trying to call my friend like, hey, they're not letting me in here, and I'm confused. And so then like the waitress, as I'm hanging up the phone, not the waitress, but the hostess, she's like apologetic. She's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, standing there still kind of stuck, and I'm looking around for the sign with the, you know, dress code policy on it. And then she walked back up, and I'm like looking at the staff, and they have on like fishnets and shorts, revealing tattoos, you know, crop top. And so I'm like, you have policy, dress code policy that I know nothing of because I've been here multiple times. And, you know, so I'm like, but you let your staff wear this. And so like, I'm trying to ask her, and I'm like, so for the camera, let me record you with you saying why I can't come in here. And it's not that I wouldn't go somewhere else, because clearly I did, but like, I need you to give me a reference. And she's like, well, because it's too revealing up top. And I understand that I'm a thick woman. I never considered myself fat or like, but it goes back to image. Like, so now you have me questioning my own image, my own size, something I had never done.
And I would assume after all of that, you could only come to one conclusion. And what was that conclusion? Why you were not allowed in?
Discrimination for sure. I hate to say, like, as a Black woman, like, you know, oh, let's put the race part out there, but I definitely feel as though I was discriminated against. Something about me did not sit well with her spirit for whatever reason that was.
You said it didn't sit well with her spirit.
It did not sit well with her spirit. And she said I had to go, which is perfectly fine. I'm never going to stay where I'm not welcome. There's tons of other restaurants I can visit, but I needed to just let other people know, hey, I don't even want you to experience what I just went through.
And what she didn't realize is she picked the wrong damn one that day, because you're vice president of the NAACP in Baton Rouge. And you have a platform, and you have followers, and you have members.
Yes. And my dad is also on the board of directors for NAACP nationally. He's also our state conference president, Michael McClanahan. So she definitely, and I don't ever want to pull a privilege card. I think I'm like anybody. I'm just a nobody, just like anybody else to me, but I feel like human decency should be the right of every human being, that you don't just mistreat someone, because I felt like her tone was very condescending. And like I said, it was something about me. I don't know if it was the hair or what that just triggered her to say, you don't belong in here. And
have you heard from her since at all?
No, I have not heard from her or the restaurant personally reaching out to me at all.
And so ultimately, what would you want to see done to resolve this?
I would ultimately like a public apology. Of course, I would also like to see that if you're going to have rules, I'm fine with rules. I've been to State 48 in Houston, I believe that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. I dine everywhere. I will go to Piccadilly if I feel like having their fried fish. You know what I'm saying? Right. And their corporate souffle. I will literally go to Piccadilly. But what I want is, if you're going to produce guidelines for someone to follow, make sure they're clear, make sure they're specific, and make sure they're not targeting, because it felt like a very targeted attack.
All right. Iman McClanahan from Baton Rouge, also vice president of the NAACP there. Thank you for your time, and keep us updated if you hear from the restaurant and how they want to resolve this. We appreciate you stopping by the Factor Uncensored tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Part of the restaurant statement, we have a dress code policy that we ask our customers to observe. Contrary to reports, our attire policy is not new. It has been in effect for over 3 years now. We'll be back.
Messy. Leo, you're up.
I appreciate this young lady, how she coming through. She ain't being overly emotional. She just said, I'm looking for the dress policy, and I don't see it posted. Like, here, it is a policy that's pasted on the door. No shoes, no shirt, no service.
Come on now.
It was never posted. She's been there dressed in that same attire before. She's never been refused service. And now that she has been refused service, she making her complaint known. And I'm not satisfied with their response. This policy has been in place for 3 years. If it's been in place for 3 years, then how come she was at the place down there to the restaurant with the tube top on 2 weeks ago, and she wasn't denied service?
Come on.
So
now.
I appreciate the way she making noise. If you got a platform, if you don't have a platform, how about that? Make the noise and do it in a way that speaks on how they are conducting their business in real time. She says she's not against it. She's not against any type of dress policy, but it needs to be clear. It needs to be precise. It needs to be presented. So if she would have known there was a dress policy, and I appreciate the video that she put forth. Hey, there's no sign saying anything about the dress policy. How was I supposed to know it and then be refused service? And she liked the restaurant. So what are they going to do now? I hope more people talk about this story. I hope more people start speaking with their dollars.
Come on now.
When it comes to places like this that treat us the way that they treated her.
And she took a video so your waitress was part of your staff can have on fishnet stockings, booty shorts, but I can't come in with my long skirt.
And it wasn't anything, right? She wasn't showing anything.
Long skirt and her top that match. And honey,
her boob was completely covered. She had her belly out. Like, she looked totally cute and presentable. I just can't.
Messy. Yes. E, you're up.
Well, I agree with essentially a lot of things that Leo said. However, I do want to touch on one thing. If they do have a dress code policy and it's been on the books for 3 years, even if it's not posted, I can believe that. I can believe they have a dress code policy. And I can also believe that the woman has been there before wearing similar fashions, and she was not refused service. I can also believe that the employees don't follow the dress code. I know we've had some talks backstage because a few people on the panel do work in this industry, and it's hard to staff. It's hard to staff, and it's one thing. Now, granted, I don't think that this woman should have been asked to leave. I think a nice verbal warning would have sufficed, and then you go on about your day. But a lot of people, if this manager is not on duty all the time, because I'm assuming this woman never saw this manager and vice versa. And so she had come in there before, not just her, but many other people had come in there before, not in dress code. And the people who were working at the same time that she was in the restaurant did not advise her of the policy, is because they didn't care. Some people's attitude is, especially at that level, will say, I don't get paid enough to do this. Come on in, come in here. It's not that serious to them. But for this manager, it was serious to her, but she was still out of bounds because the dress code should be posted where everyone can see it. And I think it's a bit much to just jump to we're refusing service especially if your staff is not in dress code. But I just want to say, just because she had been there before doesn't mean it wasn't a rule. And just because the waitress had on fishnets doesn't mean that, there's not a rule. It just means she just chose to enforce it with this Black woman, which means that it could have been discriminatory. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
Appreciate you. Katrina, you're up.
I was wondering the same thing. Like, was she put out because the outfit that she had on was because she was a plus size? Or because how can you send me home or say I can't eat there, but your waitress is working there in less than the attire that I have on? So why you didn't send her home? How you gonna enforce the rules with the customers, but you're not enforcing the rules with the people that work there? That doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to enforce the rules, you should enforce the rules with both people, not just me. So I'm looking at it this way: is it because I'm a plus size person? It's because I'm a Black person? I mean, it's summertime. Ain't nobody finna wear no coat. Maybe a little sweater or something like, what I'm saying? Like a little cardigan or something like that. But who's gonna wear a coat in the summertime? But you telling me that I can't eat here because I have on a halter top, and I'm looking at your workers and they're wearing this. This is ridiculous. So your workers should have been sent home and docked pay, and then of course you're not going to get my money because you're telling me I can't eat there. And even if I was her, if she decided to let me stay there to eat, I wouldn't want to stay there because who would know what you was doing to my food? So I mean, it's bad all the way around. Maybe she wasn't there when the girl came in before, but if you're going to enforce the rules by the customer, you should enforce the rules by your employees. That's all I got.
I appreciate you. In my opinion, you're up.
I think this is a case of I don't want you here, so I'm gonna make up this rule and tell you it's a rule. It is no way in the world you can tell me something is a rule when there's no postage of it up. There's nobody enforcing the rules, and especially if your employees is out of dress code, that makes zero sense. And I'm glad that she didn't go good or low. She was professional when she did her video, because we have to realize that when we want change to happen, we have to handle it appropriately. So I think she handled it appropriately. I think this really makes this restaurant look really bad, because we all know in the South it gets hot down here. So she knew that girl didn't, no way she was gonna have a coat in her car in the summer when it's 100 and some degrees down here in the South. We not putting on no coats in 100 degrees. We ain't even got one in the car. Okay, I just feel like it's ridiculous that here in these times that we have to worry about somebody saying, "Oh well, you're out of dress code, so you can't eat here," or "Oh, your hair is a certain way, so you can't eat here." I think this is ridiculous when we get to the point where we telling people this just to go to a restaurant that you want us to spend our hard-earned money for. It's sad and it's unrealistic.
Yeah, it's very sad. Tay, you're up.
Number one, who are you, judge, to tell me I can wear that dress right there and come to the restaurant so I can pay your server for a tip from my hard work money too? Probably so jealous because she got more curves and more booty than you. And probably you call your husband, saw her on the online when she posted that too. Probably that's why you got jealous. If you tell me I can't eat there, I'll walk out the door myself and go somewhere else to eat somewhere else too. Because this is ridiculous and is ridiculous right there. Here in the South too, you see everybody wear something different else, but nobody say nothing to them. What they can wear, what can they not wear. But you cannot say to your customers, your employees, they have to wear long sleeve because they got tattoo on the neck and the arm right there too. But you can't tell your employees not cover it up everything. You cannot show what? Nothing. I feel bad for her. I hope she get apology from this lady right here. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Julius, you're up.
We seen this too many times. Now, if the employee is dressing atrociously, they're supposed to be representative of the brand. Now, maybe I got it twisted, but entrepreneurship 101 when I was in high school told me this knowledge. If you work for somebody, you're representing their brand. So why isn't your uniform clothing products policy not enforced with your employees? But you want to enforce it with customers. Certain customers at that. Like I said at the start of my commentary, the majority of us on this panel, we've seen this all before. We know what this is. TV shows have showed this in the scripted sense. With women like that. Oh, well, you look atrocious, so you can't patronize here, but it's okay for your employees to look a hot mess. We knew why she was kicked out. Because her skin pigment. Let's just call it what it is. But yet, if she had the same skin pigment as the lady who was doing the kicking out, she would have got off scot-free. That's it. That's all.
Thank you, Julia. Savannah, you're up. Come on, Bianca. The waitress can have cheeks out, but she can't wear that outfit. Like, come on, child. Savannah.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with Julius. I don't think this is about skin tone or race. I believe it's more about size. And because if the young lady's been there before, regardless of whether somebody in that restaurant seen her, there was absolutely nothing wrong with what she was wearing. And if the staff is wearing much less than she, I believe it's more of a discrimination against her size than skin tone. I believe this manager also failed to realize the power of social media can make or break an establishment nowadays. One bad review, one bad experience uh, can absolutely diminish traffic to a restaurant or increase, and sometimes not for the best. So I agree with you in my opinion. I think she handled it correctly and gracefully, and she did exactly what she needed to do. But I really don't believe that this is. I mean, they're in Louisiana, the South, and deep South at that. And I'm pretty sure that their menu consists of many Southern meals. But I just believe that this is more about her size, and that's also a form of discrimination on this woman. So, and I don't think an apology will fix anything. Honestly, I really don't. Damage has been done. So that's all I have to do.
I appreciate you. Wayne, you're up. Are you there, Wayne? We're not hearing you. All right, Emmanuel, you're up.
I agree with Savannah. I can't imagine how humiliating it must be that you're just going to a restaurant, you're just trying to eat, and then you get kicked out because of what you're wearing. That's ridiculous. I agree with everybody else. Discrimination, and people around there should boycott this restaurant. I truly did feel bad for her having to go through that. That's all.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Oh, well, Rain is coming back. Let me see.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, access to too many devices.
Ah!
But anyway, I have a thought what may have be going on. Okay, this young lady's been there several times, same similar attire, and you see the way the waitresses are dressed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, their upper part might be showing a little bit, and maybe they've noticed that when this young lady comes there, their tips go down.
Mm-hmm.
Possibility. She's not really showing anything, but somebody who got a wandering mind with a nice, healthy woman like that, eyes may kind of wander. Okay, so that's just a possibility with the tips. The other thing, I'm glad she has some kind of platform. I hope this video goes viral. I had a drill sergeant tell me, hit them where it hurts. I hope the name of that restaurant is blasted all over social media. I hope everybody Black in Louisiana and anybody else sees it and choose not to patronize that restaurant. And when their bills become due and they can't pay them, they're going to have to think about what they said to a Black woman about her attire. This is how you stop these people. These apologies ain't going to mean nothing. Hit them where it hurts. Their pocket. Get into their money. Get into their bag. That's what they hear. I'm done.
I appreciate you. I'm gonna see how this story pans out. She messed around and found she messed around and found out though that it is wild how this individual, the young lady, her dad is part of the NAACP, and so is she. Ain't that ironic? That's who you kicked out of your restaurant. That's who you ended up messing around with. And this girl did it the right way. She was calm. She was articulate. She asked the right questions. Let me see your policy. To be honest with you, I wouldn't want to eat there anymore anyway, because this was the alleged owner that kicked her out, that told her pretty much she can't eat there. Now, I am one no matter what time of year it is. I do keep a jacket in my car because sometimes in these different restaurants it is too cold. But I have a feeling even if she would have had a jacket in her car, I don't think that was the issue. Even though she did tell her go get a jacket, but like somebody said, I think it was Bianca said, but your waitress can have the booty cheeks out and fishnet stockings on, but I got to go cover up with a jacket. Just very messy. I want to roll right into the feel good story, and it's kind of like a lesson, this story too, about how you got to protect your brand from the beginning. And also how you got to watch the contracts that you sign. This is a very good one, hard lesson, but she stood the test of time. Hold on, let me share this screen.
Designer Haley Paige from the TLC reality show Say Yes to the Dress. I have watched hours of that show. Over the last few years, Paige has been locked in a complicated legal battle in which she lost her ability not only to design dresses, but also to use her own name. First, on CBS Mornings, Nancy Chen sat down with Paige at her home in Palm Beach, Florida, as she reintroduces herself to the world.
Today, this seems particularly poignant. So, what is your name?
Haley Paige.
Does that feel good?
It feels real good to say it.
For nearly 4 years, there's a question that has consumed Haley Paige. What's in a name?
Why is it so meaningful to be able to actually use your name?
Well, there was a period of time where I couldn't use my name.
What's in Haley Paige's name is everything.
I feel like a princess.
Are you getting paged?
I'm getting paged.
You just got paged? I did.
Ever since she began starring on TLC's Say Yes to the Dress about a decade ago, brides have dreamed of one day wearing a Haley Paige dress.
Oh my God, this is Haley Paige!
And as a designer with more than 1 million followers on Instagram alone, Paige became a celebrity in the bridal industry.
Have you always wanted to be a designer?
There's never been a time where that wasn't my biggest dream.
But at the height of her success in 2020, her dream began imploding when Paige found herself in a legal battle with her then employer, dressmaker and distributor JLM Couture.
It is with a very heavy heart that I announced my resignation as a designer.
I was very eager at 25 years old to chase after my dream, and I had signed an employment contract without counsel. And years later, it was interpreted in ways that I never anticipated or could imagine.
Back in 2011, as a rising star, Paige had signed with JLM, giving them the right and license to use her name in connection with the bridal industry.
So you sign on the dotted line, no questions asked?
I had blinders on early in my career because I was so hyper-focused on myself and what I could do for other companies.
Around a decade later, JLM sued Paige, alleging she violated a non-compete, posted social media content that did not align with the brand, and promoted other companies without permission. Then, when employment discussions broke down, they say she locked them out of her main Instagram account, which they believed they owned, something Paige denies. After a federal judge ruled in JLM's favor, the company took over Paige's social media accounts. They hired another designer to make dresses under her name, with Paige allegedly receiving none of the commissions or royalties.
I could not use my birth name in any business or commerce or even to publicly identify. And I was also being restricted under a non-compete, which meant I couldn't practice the trade I had dedicated my whole life and education to.
These were a real outlet for you.
Absolutely. Shoes felt like a product that carries you places.
As her legal battle played out, Paige decided it was time to take a fresh step into shoe design. With her new company, she is Cheval.
What does cheval mean?
Cheval is the French word for horse. And I studied French couture. It was something I could step into and be energized about.
But Paige still hoped to one day get back to her first love, wedding dress design. Then, after years of appeals, came a new court ruling.
I've recently been awarded back my personal Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest accounts.
In May, a New York federal court returned Paige's social media accounts, agreeing JLM failed to prove it owned them.
My case has likely set positive legal precedent and case law for anyone and everyone who uses social media both personally and professionally.
What was your reaction?
I immediately put on my favorite song and started dancing around the house. There is this song by the Beach Boys, and it's called Make It Big. And there's actually a lyric where it says to see your name in lights and see your name spelled right.
The court, however, also said Paige's non-compete was still valid, so she reached a settlement agreement with JLM, agreeing to pay the company a little over $260,000. As a result, she was released from all of her obligations and got her name back. In a statement to CBS News, JLM said it is satisfied that it has resolved its differences with Paige and wishes her well.
What was it like to pull these out and know I can do this again?
Oh, it was just so fulfilling.
Now Paige is focused on the future, which includes designing shoes and dresses and marrying her fiancé Conrad, with no question about who's designing her wedding dress.
You emanate joy and you emanate happiness. Was that always there, no matter what?
So much of life probably tries to dim that. You can kind of decide, I know that that is going on, but I can also still feel like myself, and I can still hopefully dazzle women, because that is something that I believe I can do. It's a special thing to be able to hold on to that.
Haley told us she is working hard to make her dresses available again soon. And when that does happen, she now envisions combos with the shoes and the wedding dresses. But when we say she could not publicly identify, she was nervous about even putting her name on a Starbucks order.
Whoa. What?
Wow.
Well, the double whammy is she couldn't use her name, and then she couldn't design dresses for however long it was because of the non-compete.
She's been through it, but I'm so glad she came out on the other side because her dresses are beautiful.
Yes.
So are the shoes.
She kept
If I was getting married again, I would do that.
Haley,
yeah.
Just might.
There's time.
Just might, Gail. You never know. All right. Thank you, Nancy.
Keep
We'll
hope
be right
alive,
back.
Nate.
That's right.
I thought it was a great story because a lot of times we do sign, especially for the young people out there. We're excited about an opportunity, and sometimes we've been waiting so long to get the opportunity that is put before us, and we just go ahead and sign on the dotted line. That signing on the dotted line took her name, took her image, took her social media accounts. She literally could not do anything under her own name. Listen, guys, I'm into education because the people that I stumble upon, they educate me. And so with that being said, and I also, there's this thing is, once you get in your emotions, you can't even think straight. And we do, as a community, a lot of stuff, we get stuck on an emotional level, and that's why we're stuck like in the same place. We got to get out of our emotions. We have to educate ourselves, and we really have to level up. I thought her story was it really touched my soul, because just like that, your own birth name that you was given, someone was able to pretty much, I can't say steal it from her because she did sign the contract, but it was still messed up that she could not use her own name, image, or likeness, and she couldn't even design dresses because it was this non-compete clause all in this little contract she signed just because she wanted to fulfill her dream. Listen, guys, thanks for spending Friday nights with me. Every now and then we fight. It is what it is, but we get through it, because over here we catch the train and we don't catch feelings, right? And sometimes we have to agree to disagree. It just is what it is, right? So anyway, guys, thanks for being here. If you didn't hit the like button coming in, hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate y'all. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Do not cheat the divorce.